Hello, everyone. Welcome to Real Reds Talk. This is your transfer show, and we have some breaking news to bring to you guys regarding the striker situation. United finally found the striker that they want. The news coming in the last hour that Manchester United have held talks with Burnley over a possible loan for Wout Weghorst. Any move would need Besiktas approval to break the current agreement, as they have a 10 million option to buy. So I'm just going to repeat that for you guys. People who are tuning in on the TikTok, people who are tuning in to YouTube, welcome to the show. Manchester United have held exploratory talks with Burnley over a possible loan for Wout Weghorst. Any new move would need Besiktas approval to break the current agreement, as they have a 10 million euro option to buy. That's coming from The Athletic, so it's not some random journalist trying to get clicks. It's not some little guy in Brazil or somewhere typing away trying to get more followers on his account. This is coming from The Athletic, who a lot of the time very, very credible journalist. A few other bits I want to touch on here as well. Make sure you get your comments in the comment section on TikTok and YouTube. So Erik ten Hag is believed to be a fan of Wout Weghorst, with his personality particularly appealing to Ten Hag. I'm not sure if you've seen that clip. If Ten Hag's been watching that clip from the Messi thing when they're both going at it, maybe you like something in that. Maybe you see something on the pitch, the way he's a bit of a leader up top. He is a bit of a captain in his own right. So you can see the leadership qualities there from Wout Weghorst. Fabrizio Romano has said Wout Weghorst has already given the green light on a move to Manchester United. So he actually wants to move to United. He is he's up for it. He's ready to take the next step. Obviously, he's on loan at the minute, like we suggested before, at Besiktas. So I think it's a case of the Besiktas agreeing to this, unless they want to buy the striker. I don't know how they would work it with. I don't know the internals, basically. I don't know how they would work it with Burnley. A comment there from Severe. We're all watching from Chivy. Sorry, we're all watching Weghorst comps tonight, aren't we? I even saw before thing saying welcome to Manchester already on YouTube. Someone's put welcome to Manchester Weghorst, and they're all clicking on it and shit. So yeah, I imagine there's a lot of people going to be googling him tonight, Wikipedia's, all that kind of jazz. But yeah, so this is another thing coming out of The Athletic as well. This is Ollie 69 says, didn't Weghorst play for Burnley? He is a Burnley player, but he currently plays for Besiktas on loan. He's over there doing bits for them, so he is a Burnley player, correct. It is thought that no permanent striker options are being assessed by United, even at a low cost. So it seems like obviously the message that's being put out there is that they want to loan a striker. They do not want to buy a striker. Anything we know the facts of the Glazers selling the club. They're not going to invest a lot of money before they leave. They were hesitant to do it in the summer anyway, but they're definitely hesitant to do it now. Now they're actually selling the club. So it's basically the brief. I imagine what they put out there is, look, you're getting about 5-10 million max for a loan. So you take that information, you do whatever you want with it, but that's how it's going. So Ten Hag's kind of been left with this. It seems like he has kind of targeted or scouted a couple of people, and he's been like, right, I want either him, or him. We know we're a fan of João Felix. We know he's a fan. Well, now we know he's a fan of Wout Weghorst. He's got his hands in a couple of pies, whatever the saying is. But Weghorst seems like a more likely move just because of the fee that's being reported. You're looking around the 5 to 10 million mark, whereas Athletic Madrid are wanting about 15 to 20 million for João Felix. So Let's have a look. In the blue, how is this guy? We are trying to sign him while he's lonely. I'm not sure about him being lonely, but there is lots of questions coming out of this about him, which I will answer. We've got Dan85 there saying, I think he'll surprise many people. 6'6" is a big guy, this Wout Weghorst. Big man. And I'm going to go into the style of play, how he is, because people might be, like Vincent said there, he's not really in the know about him. So I'm going to dive into him. It's a name that hasn't been mentioned, but there is that Dutch connection there, of course. You've got Erik ten Hag, Dutch coach, and you've got Weghorst, obviously a Dutch player who went to the World Cup with him. He's 30 years old. He's 6'6", proper target man. I'm sure a lot of you remember the famous goal in the World Cup in the Netherlands in the last dying minutes, 96th minute. from a set piece. And instead of going for goal, they tap it into him. And Weghorst is the man who slotted it home. And he does have a good reputation in Europe. He's played for decent clubs. He's not necessarily a strikey, strikey. I was going for a shiny and striker there, and I said striker. We'll take it. He's not a shiny striker that everyone would have wanted. He's not a Yao Felix, let's say, for example. But let's not forget, I think it's important to put this into perspective, right? Let's not forget the reaction that was coming out about Arnautovic when that got announced. The fans were all over it. It was pretty much the fans who kind of put that transfer to bed, really, because when it got announced, everyone was like, nope, don't want him, don't want him, don't want him, don't want him. And I get the reaction. I get the reaction to that. But if you look what he's gone on to do with the Bologna, he's actually had quite a good season for him. He scored quite a few goals. So, and same with Rabiot. If you look at Rabiot's tournament for the World Cup, yes, he's got some things about attitude problems, etc., stuff like that. But for me, all these targets that we're going for, I think Ten Hag sees something in him. He's just got that eye for talent. I don't know what it is, but I absolutely trust his scouting and the players that he wants to go for. So I have absolutely no problem with this. The thing is that's going to come out from this is Weghorst, 30 years old, donkey, 6'6", whatever, blah, blah, blah. Look, we've got a coach, man, who knows his football, who knows how to coach players. Just trust in the man. If he wants to bring him in, if this is genuinely a Ten Hag decision, let the guy bring him in. Right, let's have a look at a few of the comments. So it'll surprise people. 6'6", already done that. We got Cody Gakpo, so you're getting Weghorst. That's obviously a Liverpool fan there. How much are they bidding? The rumour's about 10 million. But I don't know if it needs to be clarified between Burnley and Besiktas. I'm not sure what's going on there. Paul Martinez. Can you imagine that in training? Jesus. He's saying that you can look at it positive, like he's got a target man to deal with every single day. So if anything, he'll get better at it. Not like he hasn't been doing good anyway, you know what I mean? How much are they bidding? I've already done that. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on Weghorst. Obviously not the shiny striker that everybody wants to go for, but what do we think? Would you take him? Obviously the striker situation in a minute with Anthony Martial, it's a bit dire, isn't it? We're not, if he gets injured, there's only one option. So every team we come up against, they know what they're dealing with. They've got Martial, floats about a bit of a false nine. You haven't got that bullet in the box who's going to do damage. Me and Sam was saying in the review last night, straight after the game, that it's Martial was okay, but he didn't really impact it in the way that we wanted him to. He weren't a nuisance in the box. He was kind of easy to deal with, but although he does have nice footwork and he can be tricky when he wants to be, he's obviously someone like a Weghorst or a Mitrovic is someone that we mentioned who it'd be impossible to get, to be honest, in January. He's that kind of blend. He's that kind of striker. Now, who has Wout Weghorst played for, you ask? I shall tell you. So, obviously, I've already mentioned he is a Burnley player on loan to Besiktas. He's played for Wolfsburg. He's got 19 caps for the Netherlands. He's got 8 goals and 4 assists in 16 games this season. He's had double figures for most parts of his career in all competitions. And as I've said, bit of a target man, centre forward. He likes holding it up. He's got great heading ability. He's been compared to, if I was compared to a striker, I'd say he's a bit like Olivier Giroud. Now, some people didn't want Giroud. I was joking about him, saying, he's a bit of a Maguire up top. But obviously, Giroud has very, very good pedigree. France's all-time top goal scorer. So he has a better pedigree than Wout Weghorst. But when it comes to the style of striker, Wout Weghorst is kind of down that route. You're going to play it into him. You're going to have runners off him. And when you have guys like that, the whole point of a target man in this, when you've got wingers like Garnacho, Antony, Rashford, quick, electric, tricky wingers, if you have a nucleus in the middle, like a Wout Weghorst, you can just suck up and attract people to him because he is a problem in that central role. You drag more players over to him, that leaves the space in behind them from Rashford, your Antonys, all these kind of guys. So from a tactical point of view, it's very useful. And I think Erik Ten Hag had this approach with Haller when he moved from West Ham to Ajax, and there was a few eyebrows raised about that when he went over there. People were saying Haller is, he's kind of flopped for West Ham. Why are we signing him? And then the rest is history with Haller. We all know what happened there. Champions League top goal scorer for a hot minute, for a while, should I say. A comment there from Sam. Don't like this. However, if Ten Hag wants him, I trust him. And I think that is the line to go off there. I think that's a very good point you make there, Sam, because I know there's going to be a lot of people coming away from this and saying like Weghorst is just he's not the shiny Pikachu, is he? He's not the shiny Charmander. He's not the Squirtle or whatever. He is the I don't know Wagadoo. Do you remember the Wagadoo or the I can't remember shit Pokemon card. The Monster Reborn of Yu-Gi-Oh! It's just the one that not everybody wants to go for, but yet they're still very effective. That is the best way I would describe it. He's a good goal poacher, man. He is good. If you look, I'm not going to pretend I've watched him week in, week out, but I watched him a lot for the Netherlands. He was, he was definitely had an impact in that game against Argentina. That game was flat as fuck. And look, some people are saying Van Gaal went to kind of Burnley tactics, but at the end of the day, it worked, didn't it? He was effective, and he got a goal. He got 2 goals, didn't he? I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure he scored twice. So Weghorst, look, is again. I keep going to the thing about him. He's not as bad as people think, man. He's really not as bad as people think. Do you think he'll have a big impact in the team? I do, and the reason why I do is because, and I go back to the point with Erik ten Hag and trusting him in the players that he scouted. I think he knows what he's talking about, man, when it comes to players. Every player we've been linked with or who we know that ten Hag has had a say with are doing well currently in Europe. I went back to the ones before. Everyone wanted to moan about Rabiot and Arnautovic, and I was one of them as well. I'm included in that bracket, so I'm not just talking about other people. They're having good seasons. They're doing well. I don't know about domestic for Rabiot. I don't watch Juventus that much, but from what I saw from both of them in the World Cup, they looked all right, man. Apart from Eriksen, all of ten Hag's buys have widely questioned. Look how they've all turned out. Are we still questioning this manager? Exactly, Chive. Very good point there. Be someone big, so we'll have to wait for them to sell to see proper progress. Even if he gets 10 plus goals this season, it'll help us more than what's out there in the market. Exactly. It's not a bad signing, man. It's not a bad signing. We need goals from somewhere. You know what I mean? What happens if Marcus Rashford gets injured? What happens if Anthony Martial gets injured? Who do we play there? Tell me. I'll wait for it in the comment section. Who do we play up top? There's no one. There's absolutely no one. So we need a striker definitely. But I've always said, and Sam's always said as well, that I want a hybrid striker. So I want a bit of who's got a bit of pace, but he's a bit physical, like a Haaland. But obviously we know January is difficult with the owners that we've got, so it's not going to be someone like him. But that if you got someone like a Haaland who's strong, tall, quick, can do both roles, and essentially that's why I call it a hybrid. That'd be perfect. But we don't live in a rosy world where we shit rainbows. So it is what it is. We're dealing with what we're dealing with at the minute. This is just going to be a 6-month stint to help us keep that goal tally up and coming in the games like yesterday when we play Everton, for example, in the FA Cup. Like you're telling me you wouldn't have done a job in that game. Look what happened when Calvert-Lewin came on for Everton. He did switch it up a bit. He's someone you can be more direct with, someone you can play into. You can start putting crosses into the box. There was a situation yesterday, yeah, anyone who watched the Everton game, where Dalot was on the edge of the box. He had tons of space, literally tons and tons of space, and he just wouldn't put it into the box. He wouldn't put it into the box. And you're like, I get why he didn't, because there's no one to hit, but you can still kind of drill it low, try and make something happen. And we saw when Rashford did that, Connor Cody ended up scoring an own goal. So it can happen, but once Weghorst is in there, you've got someone to hit there, man. And defend centre backs get worried. They start panicking. A couple will stick on him, and as I said before, it leaves space for others in behind. For people on the YouTube, make sure you subscribe to the channel for more breaking news like this. TikTok as well. For anyone who hasn't subscribed to our YouTube already, please do. Real Reds Talk. The link is in the TikTok bio, and let us know your thoughts on Val Weghorst, please, because I think it's super interesting at the minute. I'm trying to get more and more reaction to this currently, because obviously this is literally only just broke in the last kind of hour or so. I'd say hour and a half. So I want to get the traction to see. I've seen a couple of more names mentioned by Laurie Whitwell. He was talking about Memphis Depay and how he's another option that we're looking at, and he's been a name that has been in circulation for so long, even since he left United. Obviously, he's already been a player for us. He's been a name that's been in circulation, and it wouldn't surprise me if we went for him as well. He's obviously a different striker to what we've got. Peak Performance says, don't think much of Weghorst, doesn't exactly score much at all. But in Europe, he's got double figures in all comps for a lot of teams that he's played for. So he's still a relatively good reputation. I wouldn't say it's too bad. For some reason, fucking Twitter is not letting me log in. I have absolutely no idea why. But let's try and go this route, and we'll try and go through the real Reds talk. For fuck's sake, not working. It's not fucking working, mate. It's not working. I need updates, man. Let me have a look. I'll go on my personal Twitter, because as we know with the internet, and as we know with Twitter, the things changing all the time. So where is why would the internet play on him now? I don't understand it. Fuck it, it doesn't matter. I'll leave that for now. Let's have a look. Height, yes, but nah. Need a proven goal machine. Only few that we can get right now. Olivier Giroud. But is Olivier Giroud gonna wanna stay for just 6 months? He's gonna want a big contract. He's getting relatively old now. Things like 35, 36. He's gonna want a long-term contract. He's gonna be here for a couple of years at least and be on a very good wage. With Wout Weghorst, you bring him in for 6 months. He goes back to Burnley. Happy days for everyone. We get what we want. He gets to play for Manchester United at Old Trafford, maybe in big games. It's a win-win for everyone. He's 6'6". It adds extra aerial threat that we lack. Yeah, exactly. It's just a different thing to keep people worried, and I have absolutely no problem with that. We're not going to get anyone big because of the Glazers wanting to sell. We'll have to be patient. Yeah, I know, exactly. That's another thing I would stress to a lot of United fans as well, is patience. Look, it's going to be like this now for the next 6 months or whatever, but we have new owners coming in the summer. So, the team are doing well at the minute. People are on fire like Marcus Rashford. Anthony obviously got a goal last night. We've still got very talented players at the club. This is just extra. This is guy extra. Would you rather have him or nothing? Do you know what I mean? Like, we just got to deal with what we're getting at the minute, unfortunately, because we know they're selling. Update: United are looking at several options, including Depay, Abu Bakar, not amongst them. So Abu Bakar was a player who we've been linked with as well, who scored that wonderful chip in the World Cup. I think he's left Al Nassr, the new club that Cristiano signed for, and he needs a club. So whatever journalist was out there kind of put 2 and 2 together, and he was like, yeah, well, obviously he's going to go there because of etc. Blah blah blah. It's not like that. So Laurie Whitwell's just shut that down straight away. Obviously, a very credible journalist. You can take that to the bank a lot of the times. We are not linked with him. So it's looking like Wout Weghorst, Memphis Depay, João Felix. 3 options. I know who everyone would naturally go for, but really ask yourself this question: who do we need? What do we need in the team? If you bring in someone like a João Felix, you get the cover, so he can play numerous positions. You can't put Weghorst on the left wing, you know what I mean, if we need to fill in there. If you bring in João Felix, he could play 9, he could play in the wing, he could play as a 10, he could probably play as an 8 if he was put there. He could play numerous positions. Without Weghorst, you bring him in, you've got a real threat in a target man there. You've got a different option. When the game's not going a certain way, you've got very good deliveries of the ball, like Luke Shaw when he plays at wing back. Diego Dalot's got a great cross. Christian Eriksen from the set piece. We saw that when Casemiro scored against Bournemouth. So we have people in the team with great delivery. Bruno Fernandes, another one. And Weghorst would feed off that. Don't forget these teams that he's scoring goals in. They're not, apart from obviously Holland, Burnley, Wolfsburg, these kind of things. And we're actually going to try speak to a Burnley fan shortly and get his like strong opinion on Weghorst, because obviously these guys watched him week in, week out. So I'd love to get a real solid perspective from them and really get clarity on his style. I know he's a target man. I know he likes, he's a bit of a goal poacher, but I want a bit more than that. I want to see what Weghorst is all about. So if you just tuning in, guys, Manchester United have held exploratory talks with Burnley over a possible loan for Wout Weghorst. Any new move would need Besiktas's approval to break the current agreement, as they have a €10 million option to buy. Erik ten Hag is believed to be a fan of Wout Weghorst, with his personality particularly appealing to Erik ten Hag. And Fabrizio Romano has said Weghorst given green light on move, so it's up to Besiktas and Burnley now. How do we feel? People going on about Neymar in the chat. Listen, you're living in cuckoo land if you're talking about Neymar. Never going to happen. We're talking about Weghorst. This is where we're at in a minute. I was going to say this is where we're at the minute, unfortunately, but I don't mind this signing at all. I really don't mind this. And I think a lot of people would eat the words once they see how Ten Hag deploys him. Ten Hag used a target man at Ajax with Haller. I'd say Haller was he's more mobile for sure, but he knows how to use him. It's important for tactical reasons. I think a few people were questioning Anthony, for example, when he came in. but he's important for how we play tactically. You watched Everton last night, United versus Everton. You see Dalot doing them underlapping runs, dragging it centrally, so there's more width for Anthony on the right hand, and he holds that width. And that's just his natural style of play. And he's very good off the ball as well, his work rate. So he's important for that right-hand side. If Ten Hag has identified this as an importance, go get the guy, man. Go get him. I have no qualms about it because it's Ten Hag who wants him. So you have to trust the guy. Every player that we have been linked with, he is, think about the summer. Chivy put a great comment in before. Apart from Ericsson, all of Eric Ten Hag's buyers have been widely questioned. Look how they've all turned out. Are we still questioning this manager? That's the question I want to propose. I want to put out there. Hello, do you want Martinelli? No, don't want Martinelli. Weghorst, wave goodbye to the fans. I don't know if there's much in that either. Make sure you smash a like on the video and subscribe to our channel for more breaking news like this surrounding the striking situation. It's very interesting at the minute. Things starting to bubble up. It's a January transfer window. You can imagine within the next week or 2 weeks, it's going to be something. We're going to sign someone basically. So you want to tune in to this channel, Real Reds Talk. For people on the TikTok, the link is in the TikTok bio. Make sure you click on that and hit that subscribe button. Smash a like on the video as well, please. We're only on a couple of likes on the YouTube. So if you can push them up, that'd be amazing. And let me know your thoughts on Weghorst. I know, again, it goes back to he's not the shiny striker that everybody wants, but he is one that we need. We need someone at the minute. We need a body in there. We need a different option. Just for the games like against Everton in the Cup, we've got Charlton, and whether he's playing that, well, obviously he won't play in it because we're not going to sign him by then, but if he was at the club, would he play in them type of games? At least he'd be an option where you can rest Martial, because Martial is coming off quite a lot of times now in the 60th, 70th minute. We're having to put Rashford up top, take him out of where he's performing best at the minute, and then putting Garnacho on there, young kid. Like, you can't rely on a young kid. You know what I'm saying? Don't know much about him, but he did score 2 against Argentina in the Cup, and we do need a striker. Exactly. Everyone remembers that goal, right, against Argentina? 96th minute, something like that. Bang. Set piece. Weghorst, very smart individual, picks up on it, poacher, drills it in, takes him into extra time. He's a good player. He's not as bad as everyone thinks. From Samuel Luckhurst, Ten Hag sees him as an ideal support for Anthony Martial. There we go then. Look, there's only so much you can say about a certain individual. I touched on him before. The guy's played for Wolfsburg. He obviously has got 19, 20 caps for Netherlands. 6'6", 30 years old. He's a target man, and he is what we need. I think. I do think that he might be. I don't know. Maybe controversial. I don't know what people's take could be on this. But I think we could do with him. And how long this takes, I have no idea, because United are notoriously slow as fuck in the transfer market. What options would you prefer, though? The ones that are on the table right now, you've got João Felix, Memphis Depay, Wout Weghorst. Are there any others that have been mentioned that I'm missing off the top of my head? Who would you prefer? Who would you go for, personally? Realistic ones, because they ain't going to spend more than 10 million at the minute. That seems the benchmark at the minute. Darren there saying he'll do a job 100%. Yeah, and I think a lot of people are kind of coming to the things now. Ten Hag, trust it. Go get the guy and get him quick, because we've got games coming thick and fast. We've got Charlton coming up on Tuesday, I think, and then we've got City on the Saturday, and then we've got Arsenal after that as well. So, if games are coming thick and fast, get him in, bring him in as an option. Let him do his stuff, man. It's obviously still early days. It's not a done deal. It's not, whatever. It's just United recognise him. They like him. It could be a deal that's possibly being done, but they're looking into it, basically. But they've also put out there recently in the last couple of days that they're interested in João Felix as well, and there's something coming up about him. United understood to a first option on Felix and will be given 48 hours notice of any bid or deal coming in. And Felix demands have been lowered to 9 loan fee, but obligation to buy for 75 million. So Atletico Madrid switched up a little bit there, and they've gone for, all right, if none of you guys want to pay 20 million euros loan fee, what we'll do is we'll lower that to 10 mil. So we still get decent money for a loan fee, but then you have to buy him for 75 mil. So he's off our hands. We've earned about 85 million, which is close to what we paid for him. and you're paying his wages, it works out either way for Atletico Madrid there. But Felix is a player that Ten Hag likes, but that's hard to do because we don't know the situation with the owners. So how can you sign a player with an obligation to buy when we don't even know who's buying the club yet? And that I feel like that'd have to be, kind of sanctioned off by the next people who come in. And would you like? It's a weird situation, isn't it? Who do you speak to about the obligation to buy in the summer? Because the Glazers won't be in charge; it'll be someone else. Who it's a strange, very strange situation. Can see him going to Arsenal. I don't know. I don't strike me as an Arsenal player, to be honest. I don't think Arteta would go for him. Depay is another Martial for me, so that's a no. Very strong take there. Weghorst is a Burnley player, so it's up to Burnley. People going for Felix. Jesus. People going for Felix in the chat. Do you think we're signing Weghorst? I think we've got a very good chance to. Yeah, I do. So the striker situation is hotting up at the minute. As I said before, we will go live as and when these things get reported. Weghorst has just popped up in the last hour. If anything else breaks, I will be going live. But again, leave your comments in the TikTok, leave your comments in the YouTube, subscribe to the channel, smash a like on the TikTok and smash a like on the video. And yeah, let's see what happens with this. If anything else breaks, I will be going live. But I thought I had to come on and chat about him. About Weghorst United, 10 million. Who knows? Let's see what happens. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Take care. I'll see you in the next one.